What's up, Chiefs Kingdom? It's your boy Chris Style. You're listening to another edition of Arrowhead Chief Podcast, episode 102. We're here to preview the game with the second game against the Broncos, who are in disarray right now.
Yep.
Everything's going bad. They're talking about Russell Wilson bad. The coach got fired. It's all bad. Players cussing each other out on the sideline. It's chaotic over there. We're going to get into all of that. Let's talk Chiefs.
Yeah, Arrowhead Chiefs. It's your girl, Miss Nicole. Queen of Hustle, baby. Started from the bottom, now we here. My homie at the start of his career. Let's go. Try to warn him early, hear the truth. Tune in every Sunday for the juice. Arrowhead Chiefs Podcast, bringing all the news. If you missed the play, come back for reviews. Chris Style. Out here rapping for the crew. Post game highlights, go subscribe on YouTube. If you missed the play, come back for reviews. Post game highlights, go subscribe on YouTube.
What's up, Chiefs Kingdom? Hope everybody's having a good day. Sorry we ain't doing live today, but due to scheduling, the holidays and everything, had to rock on the Thursday. My man Clarence wasn't able to make it today. Work schedule and our schedule conflicts. But got my man Ty here. You see him every Monday with us doing the recap game, but he's gonna step in for Clarence and come in. And we're gonna preview the game against the Broncos. What's going on, Ty?
Yeah, what's going on, man? And going against the Broncos second time this year, like you said, they're in disarray. I think the GM might be next. Like he might be gone, George Patton. I mean, you got to think he's the one that brought in Russ. He's the one that hired Hackett. So the blame has to fall on him at some point.
Yeah, most definitely. He's the one. Yeah, like you said, he's the one that gave Russ the contract, and it's more so about the contract to Russell Wilson rather than just trading for him. Because if they had traded for him and didn't extend him, and they could get out of the contract, I don't think it would have been as a bigger deal. But since they gave him that extension and they're stuck with him at least for another season, then you know what I'm saying? I think ownership is like, all right, this ain't good. So they're probably going to clean house, get a whole new GM of their choosing, get a whole new head coach that can mesh with the GM. Personally, I don't know why organizations do this. I don't know why they, other than like Andy Reid or somebody like that or Bill Belichick, I don't know why coaches get new coaches. They hire the new coach first and then go get the GM. Like, that don't make sense to me. Like, I think the GM should be the one to have his input,
make that decision,
especially if you're going to get a young, fresh, head coach. If you're going to get somebody new who's never coached ever, which I don't think Denver's going to do that. I think Denver's going to go for a veteran coach who's been there before, because that's going to be the only way you probably are able to, maybe salvage Russell Wilson's career, and get the old Russ from Seattle back. They're going to have to get somebody who can tap into that. I think Nathaniel Hackett, let's just be real, he was over his head. He was over his head because they thought they were going to get Aaron Rodgers. That's what they thought. I remember when Mark Slayer got on radio and said, "Oh, the deal is done. It's 99% 99% done." And he never showed up.
It never happened.
Green Bay gave him an extension, and the rest is history. So I'm just saying, he was way over his head. He wasn't the right man for the job. I know his dad was a great coach at one time, Paul Hackett, but that don't mean that's going to trickle down to the son. He didn't. Nathaniel Hackett had a stint in college that wasn't good either. So, I just think he's probably good as an assistant, maybe a coordinator somewhere where he's calling somebody else's plays or, delegating the plays that's being directed.
Or he just has some insight on it, but he's not the final say.
Yeah. So, I just think that he was they're going to get a veteran head coach. They're going to get somebody who's been there before. I don't think like they're going to go get like the coach we was talking about before the broadcast, the Bengals head defensive coordinator. I don't think they bring him in. I think they bring in somebody who's been there. Maybe a Gus Bradley. Maybe a what's the coach over in
Sean Payton.
maybe Sean Payton. Who's the coach in Dallas? The defensive coordinator,
Dan Quinn.
Dan Quinn.
That would be a
I can see
good
him
hire.
coming over, especially since him or Gus Bradley makes sense because they've been there with Russ.
Yep.
They what I'm saying, even though they both were on the defensive side,
Defense side.
they still
They know
know
what he
Russ.
needs to
Yeah,
succeed. Yeah.
yeah, they were there. You know what I'm saying? So they were there for those championship runs. So yeah, I would probably grab one of those guys and bring them over because they were already, you know, especially Dan Quinn. He was already
Yeah.
one of the favorites to get the Denver job. So I could see him taking the Denver job after this season and going over there and trying to get the right head
Get some
coach
right
or,
play
or
calling.
the right
Offense.
OC
Yep.
to come over and call the plays that work for Russell Wilson, and do as much as you can. Get a better offensive line, probably. I mean,
Yeah.
Russ has never really had a great offensive line because he didn't have a great one in Seattle, but
Nope.
but you
Maybe his
definitely
first year or two.
yeah. But after that, it was just his offensive line was not that good. So I think next year they'll probably go out there offensive lineman and try to like you said, salvage what they can of Russell Wilson because they got to try to make something work. And
Yeah.
it
Because they're
can't,
paying him.
it can't get no worse. It just can't. It can't get no worse than what it is right now. It's bad right now. Like it's so bad that if they had scored 18 points a game, think about that. If they had scored 18 points a game,
18.
they'd be in the playoffs right now.
And they hired an offensive mind as their head coach.
A so-called offensive.
Yeah.
Because the
I
word
don't
is
think he is.
the word was the only reason why Aaron Rodgers likes him because he makes him laugh and plays darts with him
Drinks beers with them.
and reads books with him, has a book club.
He might go on those ayahuasca trips with them.
Yeah,
So
I was just about to say that he's doing whatever exotic drugs. He's probably the one that got the drugs for him. So we'll see. Now, but hey, like I said, I don't want. Of course, we don't want Denver to be good, but I'm just saying it's something to look at. For next year, see what they do, see what this new ownership does, because they weren't there when they went and got Russ. So we'll see.
Exactly.
There's really no attachment there. So we'll see. We'll see. I'm sure they'll sit Russ down, or the GM or whoever's going to be the new GM or whatever. They're gonna all have a collective meeting and be like, "Yo, we gotta fix this.
Yep.
What do we need?"
And you gotta have Russ getting some insight on the offense, right? I mean, if you really wanted to succeed, you gotta let him go out there. And I wouldn't say pick a guy because you're playing a dangerous game when you do that, but you gotta let him have some insight on who the choice is for head coach and OC and stuff like that.
Yeah, I agree. Speaking of which, today on Twitter, Jerry Judy.
Yep.
Now, I like Jerry Judy. I think he's a very good wide receiver. I think he's been unfortunately stricken with bad quarterbacks,
Yep.
All his career. And so
bad coaching.
and bad coaching. When Vic Fangio was there, it was play good defense, run the football. He never Vic Fangio never embraced what's your boy name?
Drew Lock.
Drew Lock. He never embraced it. He didn't like him at all. He never wanted to play him. He was Teddy Bridgewater through and through. So
yep. He wanted a game manager, basically.
So Jerry and Vic, and say what you want, Vic Fangio is a very good defensive head.
Oh yeah,
he's a defensive minded coach. So I want Vic Fangio. No disrespect to Spags, but I sometimes
if I had a pick,
I wish Andy Reid would step out the box sometimes and don't hire his friends so much. Go get one of these dudes that just a Vic Fangio or Brian Flores. Like, get one of them guys. You
Yep.
know what I'm saying? Bring them over. You know what I'm saying? To get this defense really going. Like, but no disrespect to Spags. There's certain things on his defensive line philosophy that I think is kind of played, like going after
Played out of the league.
the bigger pass
Yep.
rusher, power rushers. Those are kind of played out now. You need the more speed edge rushers that can get around the corner,
Bend the
a little bit more.
edge.
Yeah. So those the ones that are molded in the Von Miller type,
Yep.
you know what I'm saying? Brian Burns, those guys. Like, he wants the big, guys that
The big slow guys.
Yeah. they win with bull rush and power. And I mean, that's cool, but it's kind of played out. That's the only thing about his philosophy that I would like, I like everything else. It's the way he moves his linebackers and his safeties and his corners, it's cool. The only thing about him, Spags, with the corner and the secondary is that he puts a little bit too much trust in his secondary with man to man. Like, you gotta know your personnel, man. Like, when you got a good safety like a Tyrann Mathieu, you can pull off some of them stuff. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because he's able to cover so much ground in the backfield. But when you ain't got that, you leaving Joshua Williams on the island.
On an island, yeah.
He's out there getting cooked.
On a deserted island with nothing on it.
and kudos to Joshua Williams. This is not a bash. I think he's had a pretty decent season for somebody. And I always bring this up. The kid came from HBCU. Like, the competition over there wasn't nowhere near.
And he was the highest draft pick out of HBCUs, right?
Yeah, he was a 4th round pick. So he was obviously highly touted. Like, people were looking at him.
The technique, the traits, the physicals. That's all there.
It's all the potential was there, because it's not like he's getting smoked. I was talking.
It's not like he's not even in the play, but
he's always there. It's just that his just getting his head around and knowing the nuances of learning what receivers, their moves, and like, he's not used to professional football players in some of the bag of tricks. Like, for example, when we played Chargers, Keenan Allen, he did the little swim move on him, kind of. That's a veteran move. You know what I'm saying? Like, because Josh had him beat. He had him beat to the ball, but what's your name? Put a move on him.
He put a little, got just a little separation. All it takes in the NFL,
and that's all it takes. So, and I think he'll get better with that in time. And even on Saturday, you know what I'm saying? Other than he had that one series. I think he had that one bad series where he had a couple. And some of that was ticky tacky, I thought. But whatever. They took him out and put Jalen Watson in, but for the most part, I think Joshua Williams. But back to Jerry Jeudy. He gets on Twitter and says, I ain't going to keep looking at these false statements about my boy Russ. Man, as a teammate who sees the elite work ethic, this man is incomparable. He's got an office because he's committed his life to this game. I've never had a teammate who motivated me more than Russ. 100. Now, look, I'm all for standing up for your teammate. But where was this in week 6, man? Like, this ain't new. Like,
where was this week 1 when he was getting dragged?
Richard Sherman, Marshawn Lynch. They've been like Richard Sherman. Every chance
he's really dragging his name.
Every chance he wants to drag Russell Wilson. Every time he gets a chance to find a reason, it don't matter.
Russell Wilson breathes wrong.
Oh man, he's gonna talk about it. He breathed. Oh, let me tell you about this time when he was in the locker room. He breathed my way, and his breath hit me in my face, and Richard Sherman don't waste nothing. But
no, he don't.
All the reports, I even remember from Good Morning Football. What's the dude's name? Not Peter Schrager. What's the other guy? Kyle Brandt. Kyle Brandt. He even went on a tirade against Russell Wilson. Told
Yep.
him, oh, you show up and you act like you Jay-Z and Beyonce, you and your wife. Like, dang, even Sierra catching strays, man. Like, what she do?
Yes.
She ain't got nothing to do with this, man. Leave her out of this.
She was an accomplice for a $250 million robbery.
Jesus. But even Shannon Sharp this morning, this is what made
Yep.
it interesting. He even got on Undisputed and went ham on Russell Wilson today.
He said he has
Said
no
he,
respect. I even just watched that. Yep.
yeah, he said he has no respect for his players. He acts like he better than them. He got an office. Like he's separate from them. And I don't care if it's a PR move or whatever, but Russ got to fix that. He's got to fix that next
Yeah, he
season.
does.
If
Big
he
time.
wants to get this locker room, because it's clear he lost this locker room. Like he's lost.
You could see it. You could see it on Sunday when he was taking those hits. Even Brett Ripien was getting in Center's or Reisner's face about that.
Mm-hmm. Like, yeah, it's it's not good right now over in Broncos country, and he's got to. I don't know if he's got to get in front of the team. I don't know if he's got to get rid of that office that he's got up in there and say, "Look, I'm gonna get dressed with the guys."
Wait a second. I didn't know about that. Wait, he's got an office?
Yeah, that's what Shannon
I didn't
Sharp
see
brought up
that
this
part.
morning. That's what Jerry Judy just said. He's got an office because he's committed his life to the game. Yeah, he's got his own office.
No.
He don't go in the locker room with the other team.
That's a problem. That's a
That is
huge
a problem.
problem.
Dog. It
That's
would
the
be
start of it.
even though I wouldn't like it, it would be understandable if Patrick Mahomes had an office at one Arrowhead Drive. I'd be like, hey, it's Patrick Mahomes.
He want a house there too? Hell, we'll do it.
He had whatever you want. But come on, Russ.
Russ hasn't done anything. I mean, he did win that Super Bowl, but that was in Seattle. That's a whole different team. You can't just come there and demand respect when nobody's seen it.
But let's be real. Even though Russell Wilson, he was incredible in that Super Bowl. He played a good game. Let's be real. The Legion of Boom was that team.
Yeah, they were.
If the Legion of Boom was why they beat the Denver Broncos that year, because I just remember the first rest in peace to Demaryius Thomas. When he came across that middle and Cam Chancellor hit him, it was over from that hit.
Yeah, it was.
Because they didn't want no parts of that middle of the field. And it was destruction straight from there. And so let's be real, on offense, it was all about Marshawn Lynch.
That's running the ball, setting up the play action off that.
Exactly. It ran through. Like, I love Doug Baldwin. I think Doug Baldwin was a very good wide receiver, and I think he was underrated. He was very underrated. But still. It was all
when it didn't run through Russ, when it didn't run through Marshawn, you seen what happened in the Super Bowl.
And I think since that Super Bowl is when there's the downfall of the team not feeling Russell Wilson. Even a little bit before that, because I remember when Percy Harvin came out and said, "Oh, he ain't black enough. He ain't one of us. He ain't one of the crew."
Well, I mean, he has an office that you can't act like you want to be one of the boys, but then when you go in the locker room, you're changing in the office. Like, no, that's a problem for me.
Yeah, that is a problem because you're the quarterback, and yes, you won a Super Bowl, whatever. But you can't come over here and just all of a sudden you too Hollywood to approach us. That's why one thing I love about Mahomes is that even though he's a superstar and he's got all the commercials and all the accolades, he's one of the guys, man. He's one of the fellas.
And he'll talk to wide receiver 8 like he does wide receiver 1.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
He's talking to James Winchester just like he talked to Travis Kelce. You know what I'm saying? So he's talking to 1 through 53. You know what I'm saying? All of them. The practice squad guys. He's talking to all of them the same way. And that's why I love about Patrick Mahomes is that he's not caught up in himself.
Nope.
You know what I'm saying? Because It could be taken away by injury. You know what I'm saying? By anything. This game could be taken away just like that.
Yep.
So,
I mean, at the flash of a second, really.
you know, a bad hit. You know, God forbid. You know, a
We've
bad
seen what
hit.
happened to Alex Smith.
Alex Smith. We'll see what happened to RG3.
Yeah.
Like RG3 was on his way to, mind you, if RG3
The
doesn't get
MVP.
hurt, if RG3 doesn't get hurt in the playoffs, we don't have a Legion of Boom that season. That's the year
It's
they
true.
won the Super Bowl.
That's true. Because
They was,
Washington,
they
they
was
would have
up.
won that game.
They were up 14-0 when he got hurt. He was killing them. But yeah, Russ got to fix that. He got to fix that. He got to fix that. He's got to get in front of those guys and say, "Look, man, I don't want y'all to think that I think I'm better than y'all. We better than this." I don't know. He got to have a player only meeting or whatever. No coaches, no nothing. But
And he's gotta follow through with it. I mean, because he can say what he wants, but if he doesn't
true.
follow through, then guys are just it's gonna be deaf ears, basically.
You better take him out to dinner or something.
Yep.
Foot the bill.
I wonder what he bought his offensive lineman for Christmas. I haven't seen anything yet.
He ain't buying him nothing, man. He buying them concert tickets to Sierra's. Sierra show. I want this.
The one thing I will say about Jerry Jeudy is actions speak a lot louder than words, and the way that Jerry Jeudy has been acting all year does not show that he has Russell Wilson's back at all.
I'm just saying, man. They was talking about trading that man. He's in trade talks. I thought he was going to be a Giant.
I bet he was looking forward to that. That's bad. He'd rather play with Daniel Jones. Danny Dimes.
Could you imagine saying that in the beginning of the season? Like, Daniel Jones is going to be better than Russell Wilson this year. Yeah,
people would have been kicked you off the show.
They had to ban Arrowhead Chief Podcast from all chief community talks. I wouldn't be allowed in the spaces.
They'd be like, "Oh, he's the one that said Danny Dimes is better than Russ."
Get him out of here, banned. I'll be in the same light as Chief Aholic.
Man, they did it, man. Ugh. These Chiefs fans are fickle as hell.
Me and Clarence aired out our grievances against those damn fans. Well, I was ashamed of them. But whatever.
And they're still talking about it. It's like, damn, man, leave it alone. They're still tweeting jokes and shit. Like, this ain't funny anymore.
Yeah, it's old now. Dudes still got the profile pictures is the dude's mug shot.
Or the avatar behind it.
All right, he get out. What y'all gonna say to him?
They ain't gonna say nothing. They're gonna keep retweeting his giveaways and taking pictures with it.
Taking pictures with the wolf.
Hey, I would retweet his giveaways if he comes out. I'm just saying.
I'm trying to get some more shoes, man. Give me the red and white ones.
Less competition nowadays.
Give me the red and white ones. Man.
Oh yeah, that's right. You won those.
I got the Wakanda Forever one.
Yep.
They cool, man.
Those look like some Kobe's.
I need my Holmes to loosen up his shoes. They're kind of tight.
They're tight.
Yeah, man. They're kind of tight on my feet.
I feel like that's most Adidas shoes, though.
I might have should have got a bigger size. Maybe I should have got a little bigger. Oh well. All right, Ty. So last Saturday, you was at the game, man. Freezing cold.
Cold as hell.
Stuck to the seats. How was the game experience, man?
No, man, it was awesome. Even though it was cold. Normally I would tailgate, but I mostly just hung out in the car.
Mm-hmm.
And that was about it. Then we walked in the game, froze up there. It wasn't so bad like once you got in your seat, but walking up that tunnel into the by the concessions and all that stuff being so open, that wind was just howling. It was cold, but I will say I liked where I sat at because I got this. It's kind of like watching all 22 film.
Mm-hmm.
You could see the routes developing. You could see what coverages guys were in. I really like that aspect of it. So if I was to go back, I would probably sit a little bit up higher like I did this time.
Oh, that's what's up. That's cool. How was the atmosphere? Was the atmosphere good?
Oh, yeah, it was crazy. I was a little worried at first because I got in there at 11:05 and I was like, damn, man, it was pretty empty. But by 11:30, that place was filling up. I think people were just waiting. They didn't want to be colder than they had to be.
Yeah, it's supposed to be a little bit warmer this Sunday. It's supposed to be like in the 50s. So
tickets have skyrocketed.
Yeah. I want to go to the game out here next week.
Yeah, I was seeing people selling tickets.
Yeah, I want to go. It's gonna be so many 49er fans out here this weekend, man. They probably gonna take over Allegiant Stadium.
It's gonna be like a 75-25 split.
Yeah, the Raider Nations, they're done. They're done with the team. I got a lot of Raider
they're crying over Derek Carr.
Nah, they want to get rid of him. They want to get rid of him. He does.
I've seen some get rid of him, and then that one dude, Raider Cody, he's big on Twitter. I don't know if you see him.
Yeah, I know Raider Cody.
Basically, he's backing up Derek Carr.
Okay. I'll say this about Derek Carr. I'm not absolving him. He's had his flaws and he has his faults. But it's not all on him.
Definitely
why
not.
The Raiders are bad. I mean, most of their first round draft picks have gotten cut. That's bad drafting. That has nothing to do with Derek Carr. Yeah,
that's first with Mike Mayock and
the turnovers. Yes, that has to do with Derek Carr. He turns the ball over, but I think that also goes back to they never embraced Derek Carr. Gruden didn't.
Nope.
I don't think Josh McDaniels has. I think they just did it because they had to. And from what I
think
heard,
McDaniels wanted him.
But from what I heard, them making him leave and benching him came from the top, from Mark Davis. That Mark Davis benched
That's crazy.
So maybe Mark Davis has seen enough. Like, all right, I'm done.
Anybody with a haircut like that shouldn't be making that big of decisions.
So, Raider Nation, if you're watching this, get ready for Tom Brady, 46 years old.
Yep.
The old man
and Gronk, too.
And Gronk.
Gronk's got to come.
They're going to trade Darren Waller because, he went out. He's going to go back to Green Bay with Aaron. And
that would be kind of nasty to see.
Hey, say what you want about Green Bay because they might backdoor into the playoffs. They might just backdoor into the playoffs. If they beat Minnesota, they're going to backdoor into the playoffs.
I think so, too. I think they will beat Minnesota, honestly.
Yeah, if they beat Minnesota, they're going to backdoor into the playoffs. And I ain't going to lie to you. Them young receiving core, they got something over there.
It's looking better.
Dobbs and Christian Watson. Now that Christian Watson kind of had the drops early in the season. Now he's getting his confidence up, and he looks like he's going to be a superstar. Dobbs looks like he's just going to be a solid number 2 guy, but Christian Watson, he's got playmaker ability. He's big, he's fast. So, and then you got them 2 running backs in the backfield. Maybe add one more receiver. I mean, that could be Darren Waller as a tight end, and add some pieces on that defense.
Get rid of Randall Cobb.
Yeah, get rid of Randall.
He's old.
It's time. It's time, man. Go get you a booth job, man. Go get you.
And they got Lazard too, but I don't know if he's been healthy recently.
He really hasn't been healthy this season because Lazard is decent. He just, he's MVS, man. That's
exactly what I was about to say. He's just another version of MVS.
He's MVS, man. That's what he is. He's up and down. 1 minute he'll give you 121 game and give you 30 next. Like,
you have a couple bad drops.
Ain't that MVS? So it is.
Yeah.
It is what it is. All right, man. So Monday is the big game, man. Bills versus Bengals. Number 1 seed is on the line. Not just for the Bills, not just for the Chiefs, but it's on the line also for the Bengals. Because if the Bengals went out
Yep.
and we slip up, which I don't see us doing, but if we slip up, everything runs through Cincinnati. So they are playing for something too. So
And I think they clinched the AFC North, right?
no, they haven't yet. They haven't yet. The Ravens would have to lose this week, or they have to
And then they
lose,
win.
or they would have to lose. Yeah, they would have to win Monday. Ravens lose this weekend, or they just got to beat them straight up next week when they play them because they play in the last game of the season. So, and I think Lamar is coming back. I think,
Yeah. I would think you would want to bring him back for that.
but
Kind
if
of a warm up before the playoffs.
but if I'm Lamar, do I want to come back? No.
I mean, you got a point. He's going to get paid no matter what.
I'm just saying, if the Ravens don't pay him,
Is a playoff game really going to change it?
there's
His
a
contract that much? I don't think so.
there's a team down in South Florida that will. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
There's a team in South
Man,
Florida.
that would be scary. I don't want to see that.
I don't want to see that. Him and Tyreek Hill and Waddle, man, I don't want to see that.
Waddle.
I don't want to see that, man.
And even Mike Gesicki.
Yeah, Gesicki, if they bring him back, you know, I mean, if Gesicki,
Yeah, he might be a goner.
if they don't bring him back, you know, he could always be a chief. Now he could really run two
Because he
times.
could play receiver. I mean, he primarily plays
And
receiver.
we could really run
where he
some
lines up.
two tight end set with him and Travis Noah Gray. Let's go. 3 tight end set in the end zone. But
Bunch
how you feeling about
that
this
would
game?
be so scary.
Yeah, it would be scary. How you feeling about this?
Yeah, so I'm thinking the Bengals are going to win this game. I mean, I go back to the defense. They have not given up 300 passing yards all season. The Bills are a pass first team. Josh Allen is prone to making mistakes. This is a defense that is known for confusing quarterbacks, especially this season. So right off of that, I'm gonna go with the Bengals. But if you look at the if you look at the matchup all around, I actually think the Bengals have the edge at almost every position. When you talk about quarterback, I would go with Burrow. When you talk about running back, I'll take Mixon over those guys they got over there. And when you talk about a receiving core, man, they got 3 guys that are better than 2.
Now Chase and Diggs probably wash each other out because they're both. Diggs is top 5. Chase is
they're on the same level.
Yeah, but T. Higgins and Gabriel Davis, give me T. Higgins.
Yep. Tyler Boyd and McKenzie or
whoever. Tyler Boyd.
And this season, I'm even taking Hayden Hurst over Dawson Knox.
Yeah, because Dawson Knox. Let me tell you something about Dawson Knox. I drafted him in my fantasy league this year, thinking Dawson Knox was just going to take off because he had a good season last year. I'm thinking him and Josh Allen built a rapport. He was going to be that tight end, in that 2, 3, 4, 5 spot of tight ends in this league. Nope, he ain't done crap this year. He's trash this year. A bunch of 30 and 40.
Yeah, I was worried about him when they wanted to sign OJ Howard. I was like, but you got Dawson Knox. I mean, I know you can use more than one tight end, obviously, but I felt like that was a sign about Knox right there.
Yeah. But I agree. I think the Bengals say what you want about the Bengals. I know we have our gripes about the Bengals and their fan base because they're all idiots and they think the ground that they walk on is made of gold, but it's really made of chili and spaghetti. But
and 0 Super Bowl wins.
0 Super Bowl wins and an AFC championship ring they got out of the Cracker Jack box. But still, I can't front on the team. Like I actually like Joe Burrows.
The players.
I am a fan of Joe. I like Joe Burrows back in LSU. You know what I'm saying? So I like his demeanor. He doesn't get rattled. He doesn't. Even when he played us in that AFC championship game and they were down, they was getting their butts kicked. He never one time looked like he was flustered. He never one time looked like the stage was too big for him. and he managed. And hey, kudos to that man. He did enough. He made enough plays to win that game. He did. Josh Allen, say what you want. Yes. Do I think Josh Allen is a top tier quarterback?
Yeah.
I do. You would be dumb to think he's not. But I will say this about Josh Allen. He's too, they say this about Mahomes, like he's too risky or whatever, and he's prone to give up turnovers. I think that's more so Josh Allen.
That's Josh Allen.
Like, I think he's way more um risk averse when it or risky risque with the football in his hand. Like he's always fumbling the football.
I go back to that
'Cause
Texans
he's
game way back in the was it 2018 or 19 playoffs where he just flung the ball back in a
Mhm.
playoff game. I'm like, what? Pat would never do that.
Never.
I mean, never.
And if he did do it, it'd be some sauce on it. Like he threw it this way and make somebody's wide open or something. That's the only way.
Exactly.
That's the only way he would like. Josh Allen tries to do Mahomes type stuff and it don't work out. Whereas in Mahomes, he does it and it's like the timing is great. Of course, he does a spin move off of Shaq Barrett and then throws it in the end zone. You know, like of course he runs to the pylon with one hand holding them up and he just taps the
Like
the
Superman.
pylon. You know, like if Josh Allen did that, he would fumble football. He would have fumbled it.
He wouldn't have balanced like that. No way.
So it would have fumbled in the back of the end zone. Got a touchback. So I hear you. I think he's gonna turn the football over. Maybe once or twice. If Trey Hendrickson, and that's the key, is Trey Hendrickson and Sam Hubbard playing this week because
Yep.
the Bengals almost lost to the Patriots. They probably should have lost to the Patriots last week. If they don't fumble the football and the Patriots are a disaster. But if they don't, they're a disaster. They just can't get out their own way, man.
Fumbling the ball, pitching the ball back.
The week before, it's 24-24, man. You're going to throw it? Like, what are you doing? Get down on the ground and go to overtime, man. I digress. And you know what? I'm not even going to put it all on Jacoby. See, Jacoby Myers getting most of the blame, but I blame the running back. What was the running back doing? Why are you pitching it?
Why are you pitching in the first place?
You get a few yards. If you don't you get hit, you fall to the ground. It's 24-24. But
I think he was looking at the wrong scoreboard or something.
He thought it was 21-24. Like, come on, man. And then last week, they fumbled the football in the red zone because I'm like looking at, Patriots might pull this one out. Let's go. And then, nope. They say no. I see fumble. I'm like, oh, come on. Of course you fumble. So if Hendrickson and Sam Hubbard, because Hubbard got hurt, and we got to look at the injury to Leo Collins.
They are missing three big names.
The right tackle was out for the season, so that's going to be interesting. Now, what's your name doesn't have Von Miller, but they still got Greg. I don't know if Greg Rousseau is playing.
He's been playing pretty good.
Mac Milano is one of their, good linebackers.
Tre'Davious White.
And then you got Tre'Davious White. He's probably going to be on Jamar Chase and probably switch off to T. Higgins or whatever. But I think that outside of, Poyer and Tre'Davious White, which I still think he's kind of lost a step himself because, of course, he was going against Tyreek Hill, so everybody looks slow against Tyreek Hill.
Plus, coming off that injury.
Yeah, he looks like he's a step slow. He doesn't look as fast as he once was. And say what you want, the Miami should have beat Buffalo. They outplayed Buffalo most of that game, and they was killing them with the run. I think this is going to be a big Joe Mixon game and a Samaje Perine game. I think both of those dudes are going to get off because they are acceptable against the run. They're not good against the run. And then that Cincinnati crowd is going to be packed. It's Monday Night Football. They're going to be rocking. And
this is a big game.
It's a big game. And look, I don't care what anybody say. I think Mahomes is the clear cut MVP. I don't know why we even having this discussion. The only person that should have been in the discussion was Jalen Hurts because his
Yep.
team
And
has a
then
better
he went
his
down.
team has a better record, and and look, he's played great this season.
And
Other
the
than
Russian stats.
yeah, in the Chicago game, say what you want. Yeah, he had two bad picks, but I'm also that was bad weather. The wind was blowing like 50 miles per hour. Like he had to, he had to weather that storm. Like it is what it is. He's the only one that should have been in the discussion. I don't think Joe Burrow should be in this. You can't have more turnovers than the guy that you're up
Less
against.
touchdowns, less yards.
You have more
Yep.
interceptions, less yards, less touch, and your QBR is lower, and your passer rating is lower. So I get it. Oh, he beat him head to head. Okay, that's fine, but it's still MVP is not encompassed in one game.
Exactly. If
It's
that was really the MVP, the final decider, I mean that that's a joke.
that's what I'm saying. Like it's not. That's not. You got to go through the whole season. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? Like, and at the end of the day, narratives are the name of the game. And what is the narrative? It was on the Kansas City Chiefs before the beginning of the season that they were going to be last in their division. That without
We went
Tyreek Hill, Patrick Mahomes was going to be exposed. We're really going to see what Mahomes can do without Tyreek Hill
now we've
because they
seen it.
don't think he can maximize the talent around him. And now we see it. He's maximized. He's got the very best out of Juju. Travis is Travis, but he's got the best out of Juju. He's got the best out of MVS. He's got the best out of Justin Watson, McKinnon, Pat Pacheco, even Clyde when Clyde was in there.
Yep, CEH. Yep.
He's taken these guys and brought them up a level.
Elevate him.
McCole Hardman when he was in Tony. Kadarius Tony didn't have not one touchdown again and in New York. He got two.
Exactly.
So but please believe if Joe Burrows throws 350 and above and has 4 to 5 touchdowns, the
It's
narrative
gonna be a
will come out.
discussion. Yep.
It's going to be a narrative. Joe Burrows is the MVP of the league. Watch. They're gonna talk
And the
about
thing
it.
I would say to that is you got to think about MVP, most valuable player. And I'm not saying that Joe Burrow doesn't elevate that team.
Of
But what
course.
I'm saying is if you put Joe Burrow on this Chiefs team, where would they be at? They wouldn't be in the he wouldn't be in the he wouldn't be close.
We wouldn't have won the division by Thanksgiving.
No. We might not have won a division at all the way the Chargers are playing if we had Burrow.
Exactly. So yeah, but watch out for the narratives. But
No, that's covered.
I agree with you. I think the Bengals are going to beat Buffalo. I'm looking at a score at I think it's going to be a high scoring game. So I think it's going to be anyway. I think it's going to be it's going to be close. I'm not going to say they're going to blow them out or anything.
No.
I think it's going to be like a 31-28 game or 35-20 31 game, like one of those games. Last second field goal or something like that is going to decide the game. So I could see that happening. But I think the Bengals are going to play really good, and it's going to come down to a last play. And I can't wait. I'm gonna be watching the game, man. You know what I'm saying? And I know.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Chiefs Kingdom's going to be watching, and I know all the Chief players are going to be watching because, hey, if the Bengals win with the number 1 seed and everything runs through Arrowhead, and I don't see us I don't see us losing. I just don't see us to the Broncos. They're too much.
Stidham.
Yeah, and I don't see us to the Raiders either. Like, come on, man. Like, if they let Stidham go out there and just fling the football all around on them, I'm gonna be mad.
Me too. Especially the last week before the playoffs.
But I think these guys are gonna be playing. Saying they're gonna be motivated. Especially Mahomes is gonna be motivated because um, I think he's trying to get. I don't think he might not get it, but I think he might try to get that Peyton Manning record, uh, most yardage of the season. Uh,
Yep.
so I think these next two games he's gonna be really motivated. Um, I think they rev up Kadarius Tony more, so you might see a
And
lot.
Cole's probably gonna be on a snap count this
Yeah,
week.
yeah, yeah, most definitely. So yeah, but yeah, I got the Bengals winning. I got the Bengals winning this Monday. It should be a good game though. But let me ask you a question. Let's say the Buffalo wins. What is your confidence level of the Chiefs going on the road and beating Buffalo?
You know what? I'm gonna say as long as we got 15, we got Andy Reid, and we got 87, my confidence level will always be through the roof, even if it's on the road. I think Patrick Mahomes might maybe that's the next. We've been talking about everything. All the doubters he silenced this year. That might be one thing that also gets silenced because everybody's saying, "Well, Mahomes never went on the road and won a playoff game." Well, we'll see. We'll see.
I mean, I've always been a component that this team plays better on the road anyway. I don't know what it is about Arrowhead. It's almost like they get too comfortable at Arrowhead because we got the crowd, we got home field advantage, so we could kind of take
But
it
we
off a
never get
little
the
bit.
home field calls either.
No, we don't. That the referees hate us wherever we go. And if Carl
Exactly.
Sheffers, if Carl Sheffers is damn referee at any of these games for the Chiefs, I know the fix is in.
Yep.
The fix is in. So be
He can
ready, Chiefs,
guarantee 100 yards
especially if we play
penalties on us.
the Bills or the Bengals. Oh,
He better be sitting at home come playoff time. That's all I got to say. He better not even be or doing any games.
let me tell you something. We get home field advantage and they have Carl Sheffers in Kansas City, and he's the reason why, off a bad call, is the reason why we lose the game. He better have bodyguards and everything because he's not gonna make it out of Arrowhead
They better
alive.
give him a helicopter right to the middle of Arrowhead, let him hop in and fly out.
Because he won't make it at the airport alive.
Nope.
Ask Carl Sheffers. Get the flight attendant might stab him.
The flight attendant gonna be pouring his drink. Jeffers. Oh,
Sprinkle
put a
a
little
little
something in the drink.
So he better act right. Better act right. So we'll see. We'll see. But yeah, my confidence level is high regardless. I somebody did make up a good point though. About home field advantage. I will say this: home field advantage would be good more so for the rookies because these rookies are not the battle tested playoff team. They haven't been on this team, through the playoffs, and they don't
Yep.
have that experience. So being on the road in the playoffs, and we all know playoff games get intensified. So
Yep.
the best calls are being made on both sidelines, and they're bringing out their best plays on you. Their game plan is A plus. you know, Regardless if it is A plus or not, they're thinking that what they're bringing to the table is their best stuff, and they're bringing it to you. So maybe home field advantage might be for a comfortability
Yep.
standpoint for those rookies. It might be better for us to get that number one seed. But other than that, outside of that, I think, and say what we want about Justin Reed. I did like what he said in the press this week that these guys are no longer rookies. This week, this is week 17 now. Like they
That is a
they got
good point.
experience now. They got a whole season of experience now. They're first year players now, but they're no longer rookies. They didn't been through it. They didn't
Yep.
seen it.
Because the college season's 12 games, and now we're at that
Yeah,
point where
yeah.
this is
So
overtime for them.
it is overtime for them. So so these kids they got to grow up. And look, last week on defense, because most of the rookies are on defense. So
Yep. The ones that play.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Because we ain't seeing
Sky
Moore get up snaps.
Like Jesus, Andy, what my man got to do to get some snaps, man?
He already beat Derwin James. I mean, that.
You see Justin Reed out there dropping passes left and right. Now all of them was his fault. Not all of them. And that Tariq Woolen play, that was just all Tariq Woolen. I mean, come on,
that
man,
was
4.26, man. Like he just ran that down. I'm not gonna blame Justin Watson for that. Now I would say probably he should have helped his quarterback out and probably ran back for the ball a little bit. You know, maybe he could have got a pass interference call. You know, whatever. You know, you run back, try to catch it over his head or whatever, and you try to get a PI. But other than that, I think Scott Moore needs some snaps, man. I do. It's time. Like, come on.
Yep. And unfortunately, I don't think we'll see it this year with Tony probably being ramped up and then Mecole, obviously coming back in the picture.
And there was an article out, and I need an article to tell me that. Like, we all know how they feel about veteran guys. They feel like veteran guys have been through it, and so they're going to be at the spot that they need to be at. Whereas in Sky Moore, he's still learning the offense, and he might run the wrong route, and that might be the wrong route that gets us knocked out of the playoffs. Yep. Which I get all that. I do. I get it. But you can still game plan some packages for the kid. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, look, this is you. You need to be here at this play, right here. You know what I'm saying?
If you don't do this, you're going over there.
You're going to be on the bench. You're going to be sitting next to Ronald Jones. So,
because did you know Sky Moore is the only receiver on the team without a drop this season?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously that's a little misleading because of the snaps and the play, but
that's good to know that when his number is called, he's catching the football. He's got big hands. His catch rate is huge. Like, he probably would have caught some of those balls in the he caught one.
Yep.
Like, you got.
And he had a nice move on that screen pass. Yeah. I thought it was Tony because my dad was sitting next to him. I'm like, is that Tony? Is that Tony? He's like, no, that was Sky. I was like, damn, we need to see that more.
Yeah, for real. So, but yeah, I'm not too scared. You know what I'm saying? Like, home field advantage, it's gonna be nice. I would never shy away because we get the extra bye week and the guys get to rest, get healthy, as a whole team, and get out there and be fresh while Buffalo's getting beat up by the Chargers. I'm all for that.
Yeah, and that's the thing about Buffalo is I feel like they really could be if they don't get that one seed, obviously, they could be a one and done team. Like when I look at them, it's all on Josh Allen's shoulders. I'd sort of feel that way about us. Not gonna lie, but I do think Andy knows what to do. I feel like that's the difference is the coaching.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I look at Buffalo and I'm like, Von Miller's supposed to be that guy that took him over the top. And he's gone now.
Yeah, I agree. Well, all right, man. Let's get into our game. I mean, it's not much of a game, whatever. But we still got to talk about it. On offense, what do you want to see from us? That's what I'll say. I ain't gonna ask, to win this game because I think we're gonna smoke them this time. Like, I think it's gonna be a smoking session, but. What do you want to see from the offense this week?
I definitely want to see us committed to the run, like committed. I want to see Pacheco go 15 carries. I want to see McKinnon maybe 10. I want anywhere in that 5 to 10 range. Mm-hmm. And if it comes down to it, maybe you give Ronald Jones like 2 or 3 touches. But I definitely want to see this run game get going, especially this close to the playoffs. I want to see on offense also Kadarius Toney revved up, not necessarily targets or anything like that, but just snap count. In general, because I do think Mecole Hardman's still going to be on a low pitch count this week.
Yeah.
And then the offensive line, I want to see him go out there and impose their will. I know that this team has a good defensive line. I don't know if Randy Gregory's playing in this game. They're missing some guys up front. They're probably mentally checked out at this point of the season. They're planning their vacation.
Yeah.
So this should be a game where we come in there, we have way more to play for 'em, or to play for than they do, and it should be very obvious right away.
Um, what I want to see is them not sleepwalk
Yep.
through 4 quarters. I want to see them revved up, ready to go, intensified with the crowd. You got the crowd. I don't want to see what I saw last week. Um,
Yeah, that was
Now I get it. It was cold and it's hard to play in 7 degrees, whatever weather. I get it. Like you just want to hurry up, do enough, and get the hell up out of there. But I just want to see a balanced oil machine on both, on running the football and passing the ball. I want to see Kadarius. I want to see them try to get Kadarius Tony on a deep shot. Like,
I would agree with that.
just try one. Like, let's see him. Get
Because the
him
route
on.
running, he has it. We seen it in New York.
Yeah, I just want to see him run it because he got the speed. He's got the moves, and so I just want to see him revved up, ready to go. I want to see Pacheco, like you said, and McKinnon get touches, and see that running game be a force. Like it is when they decide to commit to it. Yeah, and, I want to see Juju revved up. I want to see Juju get his catches because I felt like they didn't target him a lot last week. Like I want to see
I feel
them
like
get.
it's been that way since, honestly, I'll say the San Francisco game.
Yeah,
Like that
like
was
I
the
want.
last time we really seen that.
And I know the concussion. They trying to be cautious because he's even after the concussions, he's gotten hit a few times where they're like, okay, whoa. But we all know how the style of how Juju play. He's a physical wide receiver because he's a bigger wide out. He's like 6'1", 6'2", but he's like
He's got some
230.
broad shoulders and
He's like 225. Like he's a big guy. So um I just want to see them get him more involved in the game. Um yeah, and the offensive line, man. All right, Orlando Brown Jr. Like I'm watching
this
you,
is your
buddy.
last one of your last chances.
I'm watching you, buddy. You know what I'm saying? You can get playoff ready because once we in the playoffs, you might be seeing Khalil Mack and Joey Bosa. You might be seeing Russo and Boogie Basham and Ed Oliver and all them boys. Or you might be seeing Trey Hendrickson and
And
Sam
Sam,
Hubbard.
yep.
So you better get ready. So yeah. Oh, I also, but we'll be able to get into that. But yeah, offensively, that's what I want to see. On defense, what do you want to see?
Yes, I want to see this defense playing somewhat similar to what they did last week. I know they gave up a lot of yards last week when you look at it. Geno Smith actually went like 25 for 40, was it like 300 yards? But at the end of the day, they did not give up a lot of points. And that's what I want to see from this defense. I think this is the time of the year. Normally, we start to see the Chiefs defense make a turn. I don't know what it is, but every time Spags has his defense, pretty ready come playoff time. And I feel like I want to see signs of that in this game. I'm not saying completely shut them down. I'm not saying hold them to 3 points and 150 yards offense, but I'm thinking you got to hold them to under 17 or under for me. I mean, the way that this Broncos offense has been playing, it's got to be 17 and under.
If this defense gives up more than 10 points on Sunday, I'm not gonna be happy. Like, come on, man. Like, and let's be real. If Pat doesn't turn the football over the
They
first game,
shouldn't.
they
Yeah.
probably would have murdered him like 35, probably to 3, maybe 10. But and those have been garbage time points. So they was up 27-0 before the second quarter. So I want to see that same performance from this defense, but let's do it for 4 quarters. Hopefully,
Yep.
no setbacks and turn, and that's another thing on offense. Don't turn the football over. But on defense, I want to see some turnovers. Another Willie Gay,
Creative.
another Willie Gay interception would be nice. Juan Thornhill, Trent McDuff, one of these corners get an interception.
Sneed.
Yeah, Sneed, sacks, strip sacks. Uh, I want to see this defensive line playing like they played last week when they only rushed 4. They only had to rush
That
4.
was the
No,
first time it really worked for us.
no, make up blitzes and had to scheme it up. No, we rushed 4. Boom. I want to see George Karlaftis continue to rev up. He's getting better, y'all. He's getting better.
He's getting some more moves in that
Yeah,
toolbox too.
and if George Karlaftis can be a tick better for the playoffs, that is going to be a boost for this defensive line.
Yeah.
Because now with Chris Jones getting all the triple and double teams, because they are sending 3 at him sometimes. I've seen it. They're sending 3 at him. And there should be no reason why one of those guys shouldn't be Frank, George, Carlos,
They should
whoever,
definitely be getting
Dana,
free.
Dana, all of them. They should be all getting to win the playoffs. Burrows or Josh Allen or even Justin Herbert. There should be no reason why this defense line should be getting there with just 4. Because the more, if we could drop 4, we could drop more in coverage. That way we can help our linebackers in the middle of the field.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So you could use Willie Gay on a tight end or a running back. And you could use Brandon Cook kind of as that, chess piece where he moves around the field. L'Jarius Sneed, now he's looking like this is something different where they're letting L'Jarius Sneed play
Travel.
1-on-one.
Yep.
He's traveling with the number 1 guy on their team, the bigger guy. He's so probably when if we play the Chargers, he's gonna man up to Mike Williams.
Mike Williams.
And
He's going to because he wants to.
And they're going to put Trent McDuffie on Keenan Allen in the slot because that's where Keenan Allen usually works out in the slot. Yep. So I just want to see this defense be consistent. Give us another one like you did last week, and then do it again, and then do it again.
And doing it.
Keep doing it because I'm not taking nothing away from last week, but we got to see consistency, and that's been the problem with this team is that 1 week the defense look good. 1 week, the offense look good.
Can we see it both at the same time?
I just want to see a balanced game. We probably haven't seen that since probably week 1.
Yep. Maybe that San Fran game.
San Francisco, but even then, San Francisco was getting theirs until
they were moving the ball until
Frank Clark and them got that safety, and then it was downhill for San Francisco from there. So, yeah, I just want to see. I want to see a balanced game. That's what I want to see. I want to see a balanced game. What is a key matchup that you're looking for in this game?
Key matchup. I would think. I don't know if they're going to have Snead travel. I don't know if they're going to have McDuffie. We haven't seen that yet from McDuffie, but I would like to see them put Snead on Jerry Jeudy and then throw McDuffie at Courtland Sutton or vice versa. But I want to see that be the 2 matchups.
I would probably put L'Jarius Snead on Courtland because
he is a bigger body.
He's the bigger guy, and put Trent on Jerry Jeudy and just let it work like that. And then you whether it be Joshua Williams or Jalen Watson, whoever it is, you put them on the other, whatever other receivers out there, and you get safety over the top to help them.
Yep.
And that's always what I've been said is Josh. I like the potential of both of those guys, Watson and Williams. I think they're going to be good corners, especially next year. Once they get, know what they need to work on for the offseason, coming into OTAs and mini camps, they know what's up. They've been through the pro system. Bam. Now let's see y'all take y'all game to the next level. So, but this year, I think they need safety help. And this is where Juan Thornhill and Eric and Justin Reed come in is they gotta play better. Now, they had a good game last week. I'll give it to the safeties. The safeties were actually really good last week. Justin Reed probably had one of his better games. Juan definitely had one of his better games. When this defense doesn't have to think and they just go out there and fly around and play.
I agree with that 100%.
They're really good. You see the
They got some
potential.
talent. Yep.
You see the potential in this defense. It's just when they're second guessing themselves, when you could tell they're a tick off. When they're trying to tackle, they're hesitant. They don't just go
Using their
for it.
arms and not.
Yeah, when they're confident like you saw last week, Willie Gay, probably his best game where he's like actually squaring up and tackling, not running past the dude because he's
Yeah.
so much energy. He's taking better angles. He's looking better. He's looking like the linebacker that we think we had. You know what I'm saying? And so it's going to be instrumental for them to play fast.
Yep.
Play fast. Go out there and just play, man. And play with their confidence. So
That's a big key right there. The confidence level, which I think is rising, especially for these young guys. I always think Trent had it. Like coming into this year,
I'm not worried about Trent. Trent has had an awesome season.
Trent's always had,
he's had an awesome season.
Trent's a beast.
I think that if Trent, he may not get the turnovers, but I think if Trent had played the full season, he would
have one or two.
He would have consideration for rookie. Now, Sauce Gardner is just great, and he's probably a top tier corner.
And Woolen is up there too.
Woolen is up there too, but he would be in the discussion for rookie. Rookie.
He'd probably be third behind those two guys.
Yeah, which I mean, okay, you'll take that. You know what I'm saying? Now, Woolen was he probably should have got picked if we did a redraft. Woolen would have been a first round pick.
Yeah. He might have been taken before Stingley.
Yeah. Even though I think Stingley's had a good season, I just think he plays for the Texans, and he's been hurt most of the season. So.
And they got bad safeties. I mean, other than Petrie, who's got a lot of potential.
Yeah, Petrie's a baller. That kid right there.
But that other safety, I'm like,
he's trash. He's trash.
He won't be on a roster next year.
No, he'll be in the XFL. So, all right, give me a score prediction, man.
Yeah, my score prediction, I have the Chiefs winning this game. I'm going to say 31-14. I think they hold them under that 7-point threshold. 17-point threshold. I think they get a garbage time touchdown, Denver does, to get to 14. But I think at that point, the game's pretty much going to be over and out of hand.
I'm going 35-10. That's what I'm looking. 35-10. I think Pat goes off. I'm looking at Pat having one of those 400-yard games and 4 touchdowns. I think the field
and wraps up the MVP discussion.
Yeah, I think he goes out there and balls out this weekend and puts everybody on notice that I'm the best quarterback in the league, and all of the rest of them are eating my dust. So I think he's gonna have one of those games. So he's due. He's about due for one of them. Even though his Texan game, he was excellent in that game, but I think he's gonna have one of those bowl games where he had.
And last year, last game he was really good too.
Yeah, like he's gonna have one of those games where he's just slinging it and he's making plays and he's just doing all that crazy stuff mixed in with the efficiency in this game. Like I think he's gonna have a couple of MVP moments in this game. So yeah, I'm looking at Pat. He's gonna, and on defense, I think Chris Jones is just gonna have one of those games too. I just think Chris Jones is gonna have about 3 sacks, and he's gonna solidify himself as the best defensive tackle in this league now over Aaron Donald. No disrespect to Donald, but I just think age and attrition has kind of got to Donald.
It's set in.
He's still dominant. Let's not get it twisted. Like if the Rams cut Aaron Donald tomorrow, I'm telling the Chiefs to go get him.
He's just not as explosive off the line like he used to be.
Yeah. So, I just think our 2 superstars on both sides. I think we get a pick too, a couple of turnovers picks. So, but I think the two guys on both sides, Chris Jones and Patrick Mahomes, just gonna go out there and put it all out there. And hey, we coming. We ready for the playoffs, and we coming.
Yep.
Well, all right, brother. It's another good show today.
Yep.
Go ahead and plug the sponsor. Uh, Shout out to Every Morning Quarterback. You know what I'm saying? One of the sponsors. If you look down at the bottom, you see the link, emqpodcast.com/locker room. If you go on that link, you'll see the locker room access for all the various podcasts under the Every Morning Quarterback brand. We got 49ers one, a Chargers one, a Colts one, a Patriots, a Jets, and we got ours, Arrowhead Chief Podcast. And if you click on the banner of the link, you'll go to all our episodes, whether it be past and the more recent ones. You'll go on there, you can listen to all our episodes. You can also check out their podcast. They come on, I know they do Sundays, Mondays, they do a recap show. They also have a betting show, so anytime a game is on, they're gonna talk about betting. Shout out to Anthony, Brandon, Connor, and Zach doing their thing at Every Morning Quarterback. Go ahead and check them out. Subscribe to their YouTube channel. Also follow them at EMQ Podcast. And if you want to listen to our audio on other streaming platforms, we are available on Spotify, on Apple, on Google, on Stitcher, Breaker, Anchor. If you listen to your podcast on any of those streaming sites, you can find Arrowhead Chief Podcast. So go ahead and follow us, subscribe, and you can get all of our audio episodes from recent to past. So check us out, whatever streaming platform that you use. Arrowhead Chief Podcast is on there. And if you want to follow us, we are available on all social media platforms, whether it be Twitter, whether it be Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. If you look up top at AH Chief Podcast, you'll find us there. Follow us. We'll follow you back because our motto at Arrowhead Chief Podcast is we're not Hollywood. But just remember, talk to us nice and normal. But if you have feedback, critiques, or you want us to bring up something that y'all want us to talk about, hit us up, man. We are always open to hear what you Chief fans want to talk about. We want to bring y'all the best Chief content that we can bring y'all because look, there's a lot
of them out there.
A lot of Chief podcasts out there. But you chose to listen to us, and so we want to bring y'all the best content in our way, you know. So
yeah, in a different way.
So shout out to Ty for coming on, filling in for Clarence. Man, check him out at Sports Talk with Ty. Go ahead and plug yourself, Ty.
Yeah, you can find me on, just like he said, on all social media platforms, TikTok. I mean, pretty much anywhere. I do not have Spotify though. I'm working on trying to, get that. Trying to get more on these more podcast friendly platforms where you just upload the audio, because I know not everybody does want to watch, a long video, and I certainly wouldn't want to see my face for like an hour and a half every day.
Get on that Anchor, man. Anchor's free.
Yeah. So thanks. I'll definitely have to check out Anchor. But Happy New Year's to everybody watching.
Happy New Year, man. Hope everybody enjoyed their Christmases. You know what I'm saying? Hope they enjoyed their Christmas. Got everything they wanted. Got to spend time with your family, and hopefully y'all bringing the new year in with your family. And we're gonna see y'all on the other side, man. On Monday, it's gonna be a whole brand new year, 2023, and we'll be talking about a Chiefs W, because that's what I expect.
And I'll be on this Monday.
Yes, sir. So see you Monday.
See y'all.
Clarence will be back Monday. Don't worry, y'all. Clarence is gonna be back, man. It was a little late for him. He old, man. He can't be up this late. He might fall asleep on. He gonna kill me for this.
He is.
He's gonna kill me for this, but he might fall asleep on the actual show. We can't have that, man. We can't have that. Can't have that. So he gonna kill me.
He's gonna be mad about that one.
He's gonna talk trash about me. That's all right. I'm ready. I'm ready for it. No, but for real, we'll be back on Monday to recap the game and talk about Chiefs W, man. So till then, Happy New Year's, man. We'll be back then.
See y'all.
Yeah.